it's getting pretty clear who that next fighter is. Thanks, Sakurai, and also this Pokemon in Smash? Block content. What's happening, my block buddies, and welcome to a brand new episode of Blocked Content's Leak Speak. My name is Callum, and this is going to be your content for today. Yes, it is absolutely time to talk a little bit about all the evidence that has been stacking up for this particular fighter and a couple of fighters, right, that we've been talking about for a very long time. And these characters, in no particular order, are Ryu Hayabusa, then Cosmos, and Arl. Yeah, that's really interesting because these are characters that we've, of course, been talking about for a very long time. A lot of different evidence for these characters, and now something has popped up thanks to, very much in part, Papagenos as well. Everyone's looking at the evidence for this. Everyone is looking at little hints, and this just seems so strange, so very, very likely that I had to talk about it. But also, there's information from that latest Pokemon Direct that I think will tie into Smash Brothers in some way. If we're getting first-party characters as newcomers to Smash Brothers, I think that I've got a great idea who the next one is, and yes, it's one that we've recently met in that Pokemon Direct. So I'm very excited to kind of dive into all the new information here, and I've been answering many of you guys' questions about Smash Bros. Ultimate and new fighters in our show Question Blocked, where I answer your questions. What do I think of your favorite game? How do you start making content on YouTube? Whatever you can think of, please send your questions through to blockedcontentmail@gmail.com, and I will answer your question live on the show in our next Question Blocked episode. And here's a brand new giveaway. You guys know you can win this Super Mario surprise capsule from Tomy. Any Mario character like a Yoshi, item, or anything else could be inside. I leave them closed so you can kind of find out what's inside when you win it. So I'm giving away 4 of these pretty soon, like within this month. So remember to like this video right now, subscribe to Block Content, and comment down below to enter for the giveaway. Alright guys, let's get into the main topic of today. And the first thing off the top that I want to talk about is these 3 characters, right? Ryu Hayabusa, Cosmos, and Arl. And the evidence here is basically everything that's been compiled. A couple of different people on our Discord have been looking at this. Papagenos has done some really great research on this with his people as well. So I couldn't wait to talk about this and actually stack all this information up against each other, because there are different pieces of evidence for different characters. So could we be getting all 3 of these different types of characters? So I want you guys to look with me at the next image, and that's basically of 3 of these characters, right? Arl, Ryu Hayabusa, and Cosmos. All pretty much characters that we've kind of expected to be in Smash just because of, hints that Sakurai has been dropping. Also, it feels like it's kind of time for a female character, and for Ryu Hayabusa, who has been long rumored to be in Smash. So it kind of all makes sense. Now, if you look at the pictures of the day, they could definitely be hinting towards a couple of things. First off here with Arl is of course that picture that Sakurai sent out with Marth, with little Isabelle on his shoulder. That's of course very much Arl, that character represented with that little creature over there. So that's very, very solid evidence right there. And of course the Puyo Puyo games have had a little bit of a hint right there, even with the Tetris stuff that already happened in Spirits, and now with this Kirby image as well, that's very clearly trying to say something like, yes, this is happening, this is some sort of like the really clear hint. This could really be nothing else than trying to be one of the grid parts of a Puyo Puyo game, right? And of course that main image that we've seen with the new year, right? The 1-year anniversary of Super Smash Brothers. So that to me is also very interesting because it shows Daisy there alongside all the other Smash characters. It's almost like if Sakurai could put any other character in there, it would have been the newcomer, and that would be Arl, maybe the first one to be revealed, but it isn't. Arl couldn't be there because he spoiled the character for everybody. So Daisy's in there, who basically shares a lot of other things in common with the character, in terms of the flower patterns, in terms of the hair color, all that kind of stuff, and even having the peace sign that is in a lot of Arl's official art. It actually shows up in the game as well, Puyo Puyo Tetris. So that to me is a lot of evidence. I've kind of shrugged at it in the past. I was like, well, it could just be 3 Mario characters in the middle, Piranha Plant, Mario, and Daisy. But the more that you think of it, the more clear this becomes with all these pictures as evidence. Now, of course, up next is Ryu Hayabusa with this very awesome screenshot with this great clash in the middle with that moon. That's very reminiscent of course, cutscene stuff in Ninja Gaiden for the NES. Totally love that. And of course, the box art recreation here with Sheik over there. So I think that that's also a very cool piece of evidence towards Ryu Hayabusa pizza because this could really not be anything else, right? It could probably been a character with something like a sword, but this is the closest that we'll get, and this is basically the closest that you could be getting to recreating this kind of stuff. So yeah, Ninja Gaiden Sigma's box art is really, really close to what Sheik is trying to do with this move over here. This couldn't just be anything, right? This definitely is a hint towards something like that, or even just, you know, a little throwaway thing. But these are characters that people have wanted in Smash for a while. If you hint towards them, you know, it's happened before in the past in Smash with Golden Sun, you know, Isaac's character. We've all hinted, you know, we've all seen those hints with Sakurai doing that picture with all these characters standing off against Rathalos, and we were like, this is just a Golden Sun battle. This is a reference to that, and this has to be why the character's coming. But no, that's not. You know, Isaac is still not showing up in Smash. And then Cosmos here with the Cosmos flower, which is exactly that type of flower right there that's been showing off in that little scene over there, which is super great. And of course, Wolf giving a flower to that little picture of the horse, I think has all sorts of implications that are crazy. I think that this is a little bit more far-fetched, but of course, what are you going to hint towards, you know, Cosmos? What kind of stuff are you going to do? So yes, all these images are totally crazy. They show off really big, different parts of the Smash fandom, and of course Sakurai himself teasing these things. That to me is an extremely fun and rewarding thing to, you know, keep your eyes on as sort of a viewer of these things. So thank you so much for sending in all these images, and of course Papagenos for, you know, facilitating everything and looking towards all that evidence in a very, you know, precise manner. I totally appreciate that, and I love to talk about things like these. But also, there's one little thing that I want to talk about that maybe has not gotten as much lip service, and I really wanted to kind of uncover this idea that the brand new Pokemon Direct has basically brought up in me, and that's that the next fighter in Smash Brothers, or at least a fighter that's upcoming, could be one from the Pokemon franchise. Now, as you guys know, the Pokemon Direct just happened, and we have some more information about Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield, especially the expansion pass, which actually is brand new regions in Pokemon Sword and Shield that have brand new Pokemon, some returning stuff, even some Pokemon that we didn't even know could Dynamax and Gigantamax. They will actually be able to do that now. That's super cool, but also newly discovered Pokemon like Calyrex. There's like Galarian versions of Pokemon like Slowpoke, but also this really interesting Pokemon called Cubfu, which is a little tiny bear that is very, very proficient in the Kung Fu arts, and it evolves into Urshifu, and that's the character that I want to talk about. Now, Cubfu will evolve into Urshifu after it has undergone like sufficient training. It seems like Urshifu has two forms, a single strike style and a rapid strike style, and that each form has different types as well. So that's super cool. The evolution is this like Ryu type of like bear character that looks really, really imposing and awesome, and the different forms even have a different visual style to them. Like they look slightly different, and they even have different forms, different stances that they use, right? So the category of this Pokemon is a Wushu Pokemon, and the single strike style is a fighting dark type, where the rapid strike style is a fighting water type. And that basically has to do with like single strike. They could see that as a dark type move where it's like almost magic, right? That they basically single strike, a lot of power in that. And rapid strike is like a flowing river. That's basically like in Kung Fu terms, right? So that's a really interesting ability here too. That's Unseen Fist. They both basically have that, so it doesn't matter what style they have. And for the single strike style, it actually says a merciless blow. I think that what would be cool, you know, if this Pokemon were to enter Smash Brothers, that's a huge likelihood, because I think that Nintendo really wants to push first-party characters if they do more passes, right? If they do another pass, I definitely think it won't just all be third-party characters, but of course, if we're rumoring around Ninja Gaiden characters, or if we're doing stuff like Arl, or even, you know, beyond those characters, other third-party characters, that means we are definitely getting more than one. But I believe that it's just about time that we'll be getting more first-party characters. And don't think about all your Waluigis and think about all those other characters, but they really want to push Pokemon, right? They're working very hard to do that, even giving them their own Pokemon Direct as the first thing from Nintendo this year. So that already is very interesting to me. But then to have this character that is fighting-oriented, right? And Smash Brothers, of course, fighting game, fits extremely well. And then it even having two styles. I could really see a move where you press down B and the style changes, right? So you have a completely different moveset, almost like changing your Pokemon, but it's still the same Pokemon, but every single move that it has changes around. So every special move is now a different special move, and you can, switch between them. So maybe Rapid Strike style would be the one that you start out with, rack up a lot of combo damage, and then change to Single Strike style, when the opponent is over like 100% damage or something, and then, knock them out for the kill. I think that would be a really cool character, and I like the look of the character, the black and white style and the cool poses that it has. So the Single Strike style is kind of described as Urshifu in this form favor battling without holding anything back. When enraged, they will mercilessly attack any opponent until it is utterly crushed. A Single Strike style Urshifu's movement are often direct and involve rushing forward in a straight line. It will keep its distance from its opponents at first, only to leap in close in an instant to deliver a powerful blow. I feel like this definitely is some sort of like forward B style where you like rush towards your opponent, kind of like what Ike can do, characters like that. I definitely see this character as being a very heavy character, one of the heaviest Pokemon characters that we have. And of course, the Rapid Strike style is being described as furious rapid strikes. Urshifu in this form will maintain a calm demeanor, observing their opponents and measuring their strength while dodging attacks. Rapid Strike style Urshifu will use flowing movements in battle to smoothly parry an opponent's moves and then overwhelm the opponent with a flurry of rapid strikes. Now, this character, more than any other character in Smash past, I think a lot more than Incineroar, I think it really deserves to be in Smash Brothers, just for it being, the big new Pokemon. They really announced it with like a cool CG trailer. This Pokemon can even Gigantamax, which I think would make a really impressive final smash for this character, and there are different Gigantamaxes for this character depending on what form you are in, so that could even be a very cool thing where the character has two final smashes, one if you're in the down B mode of the first one, and one in the down B mode of the other one. Just this idea drives me insane. I really want to see this happen in Smash because I'm growing pretty attached to this Pokemon. I think that it's really cool. I think the first form is really cool. Cub Fu, I think, is a great look for that character. I almost want that character in Smash now, but I think the evolved form just has a lot of implications in terms of style, and I think would be a great Pokemon to add to Smash Brothers. It would be, a very interesting, we don't really have a big like fighting style Pokemon in Smash yet. All the other characters are mostly a big first element like fire or water or something like that, and this Pokemon would definitely be fighting first, and that I feel has been missing, and I think that it would even be a heavy Pokemon, and that, of course, I'm very much for. So this is really interesting. All the leaks about Arl, about Ninja Gaiden, about Ryu Hayabusa, I think that it's going to be really fun to kind of unpack what characters are coming. In terms of Urshifu, I hope that it happens, but I'm not clinging on to it with my everything, but let me know if you guys want this Pokemon in Smash. Let me know down below. I'd love to hear what you guys think of this. If you comment down below, that could actually be featured and read out loud in our next video. And today's comment question is, do you want Urshifu in Super Smash Bros? So let me know in the comments down below. As for a previous comment question, our answer comes to us from user Phantasm Wolves, saying, I believe a Nintendo Direct is still coming, because in the past, usually a week or 2 weeks prior to the Nintendo Directs, there's a game centralized Direct, like Pokemon, Super Mario Maker 2, Indie World, or Fire Emblem, etc. What I'm getting at is that a Nintendo Direct is still around the corner. Proof: Fire Emblem Heroes Direct on February 1st, 2019, then a Nintendo Direct on February 13th, 2019. Also, then on February 27th, 2019, a Pokemon Direct. Then on June 5th, 2019, another Pokemon Direct, then June 11th, 2019, an E3 Nintendo Direct. And lastly, on August 19th, 2019, an Indie World Direct to September 4th, 2019, a Nintendo Direct. So this to me proves that we are still close. Now, Phantasm Wolf, I really wanted to center this comment out because you really did the research. I totally love it when people do that. So thank you so much for checking that out. And also, I think that it's really interesting, right? Nintendo kind of wants to get certain information out of the way of their big directs. That's basically what this information says to me. So really kind of want this Pokemon stuff to be out of the way before they announce a lot of other stuff in that Nintendo Direct, which I'm super curious about. Could we be getting the sequel to Super Mario Odyssey? Will we be getting other ports from Wii U games like Mario 3D World or even Pikmin? And of course, what's happening with Smash Brothers? Who's that next fighter? So really infinitely curious about that. So thank you so much for checking that out, Phantasm Wolf. And of course, everyone who's sending in your comments, thank you so much. These are always so much fun to read through. A big shout out to our latest Patreon supporters and the super chats during our live streams. You make blocked content possible. And of course, we are going to be doing more Super Smash Brothers live streams soon. So yes, I'm going to be playing Smash matches with you guys in an arena. That's a lot of fun. So please be sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you have that bell pressed, so every time we go online with a new live stream and you can play Smash with us. So remember that, and we'll do it together. And if you want to have yourself created in pixel art or as a block content guy, or join me for a Skype chat, or even have your own ideas become animations by me, well, go to patreon.com/blockedcontent, because there's a bunch of incredible rewards there, and they're waiting just for you. And remember, if you're not yet a member of the Blocked Content family yet, hit subscribe now, smash that like button, and ring the bell for notifications. And all the news and fun you care about will be delivered daily to you. Thank you guys so much for watching again, and I'll see you around the corner where there's always more blocked content. See ya.